Chillin' with Larry Megan.
The whole day through, just the same old song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. Georgia, Georgia, a song of you. I'm the sweet and clear as moonlight through the band. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly, and in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. I said just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. On my mind. I said just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Oh, Georgia on my mind.
Welcome to Chillin' with Larry Megan tonight. Now, don't get too comfortable.
No, I won't.
I'm going to come back to you.
All right, so I stay over here.
You stay right over where you stay right where you stay in that you stay in that corner, Carl. We're going to put you in the corner. You come over here later. Don't worry.
Right.
I got something for you. But hey, welcome to Chillin' with Larry Megan, wherever you may be. Tonight we have a special guest, our friend Karl Olson. He's a I'm calling you a funny man in Minneapolis. I don't know what you do, acting, you do singing, you do improv, you do some stand-up.
I write books.
You write books. You even went to law school.
I went to law school.
I know that. But I'm calling you Minneapolis funny man because
I'll take that.
Because the way I met you, of course, was over at Stevie Ray's, which is at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater here in Minnesota. It's well known, and they have an improv cabaret, and you were hysterical.
Well, thank you.
And I invited you to come to the show, and like a good Minneapolis, Minnesota nice person, you followed up, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But anyway, that was a lot of fun. We're going to talk about your improv. We're going to talk about Karl's improv tonight. But what's interesting, which I don't know if you remember, I told you this the night we met. Just maybe a week or 10 days before I met you at the cabaret, we didn't really meet, but I saw you and didn't even know it because my sister was in town and she had looked up a place to go eat. And of course, one of the famous places is downtown, which is Nye's Polonaise Room.
Best bar in
It's
America.
Yeah, and it's like a whole Polish style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Polish style cuisine. My sister wanted to go there. I never went there, and I thought, well, okay, I'll do it for my sister. And there was some guy with one drunk guy at the piano that was playing that night. It was on a Sunday night. And then when I met you, told me you play on Sunday night, and I said, you know what? Come to think of it, that was you. You were there playing, and then I met you 10 days later. So what a coincidence that was. But so you just gave us Georgia on our mind. And by the way, this is the first time here at Acorn TV in our Minnesota studios that we've actually set up a musical instrument here in the studio. So
I like being a guinea pig.
Well, I was going to just say we're using you as a guinea pig, Karl. Okay, so before we get you over here on the couch,
all right.
Okay, you got some. What else you got for us?
Well, I do a lot of Billy Joel, and of course, if you're a piano man, if you play at a piano bar, you have to play Billy Joel.
Okay.
So we all play Piano Man, but I do some of the harder ones, so I show off a little bit. So
All right.
This one, and for your TV audience out there, the trivia question is, it's an easy one. What TV show was this the intro for?
out from an old friend, we used to be real close. Said he couldn't go on the American way. Sold the house, sold the shop, bought a ticket for the West Coast. Now he gives them a stand-up routine in LA. I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause I'm alright. I don't want you to tell me it's time to come home. I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause it's my life. Go ahead with your own life, leave me alone. And I could do more, but that's the thing right there.
All right. Come on over to the couch, big fella. Now listen, here's what we're going to have to do. You come on in and sit down, and let me explain a little bit about what we're doing here, because the thing is, our studio, we're not exactly, with 6 cameras.
Right.
We have 3 cameras here. So what we have to do is when you move from the sound stage, okay, over to the set, we actually have to take our camera 3, which is our best camera, by the way. And
you have it on me. That's so nice.
And then we have to have, we have to adjust it for this shot over here.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
Okay. So a lot of times what we're going to do is, I asked you if you had any videos,
Right.
And I got to tell you, you were great for following up with me, and I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it, because I really wasn't so good at following up with you. But when it come to getting me the videos, you kind of suck.
I failed. And I'm bad. I'm bad at videos in general. I should be more famous. If I had videos out there, I'd probably be famous.
Well, actually, I did find a video of yours, on YouTube from the Stevie's Cabaret. But the problem is, and of course, I sat through the show.
Oh, right.
The problem is with the improv, if you don't know what's going on and you just watch it in a vacuum, it really loses its impact, because people put names on slips of paper and stuff, and you pull them out and you have to work it into the act and stuff like that. If you're not there to see that, and then you just watch it on YouTube, you think, what's going on here? You don't quite get it. It doesn't really play well unless you're there.
I totally agree.
Because I was going to take it and then use that as a clip to show people what you do, but it doesn't do you justice.
It's almost like you have to go see a show.
Yeah.
I mean, to really appreciate, I guess the way they do it on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because, the Stevie Ray show is, a good description is Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. People have the right idea if they think of Whose Line Is It Anyway? But Whose Line Is It Anyway is clipped and everything perfectly so that...
now you were in an ensemble, or I guess they call it a troupe of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember I met Brett, and then there was the chick who was pretty funny.
Okay.
I thought she was real funny.
The blonde-haired one or the...
A little bit heavier.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's Heather.
She was great. And then there was the brother, and he was great too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you all 4 were great. You had great chemistry together. But one thing I noticed, now I want to know, because now we have a chance to find out. If it
right.
Was it by design, or did it just happen that way? But it seemed like in bit after bit after bit, they kind of set you up to be the punchline every time almost. It seems that way.
I'm the brain.
Really?
Yes.
You're the brain.
Well, and there's nothing official about it, but Stevie's always looks for, like, Brett. If you ever come to the show, Brett is the goofy guy.
Okay.
And so he does all the wacky, he'll make the funny voices, he'll play SpongeBob if it's needed.
Okay.
And then Heather's the girl, and then Rex is the actor.
Okay.
And I'm the brain.
But they set you up for the zinger at the end. It's like at least 3 or 4 times you were the zinger.
Because they know that I'm the brain. I can churn out the punchline.
Yeah, and I notice you like to do the, you're kind of like in touch with your feminine side a lot.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's just, there's just something funny about a guy who looks like me.
Okay.
I'm a big... I look so non-female.
Right.
And they see me as this big guy. I walk out,
yeah,
and then just go like this and be a little more like this, and then suddenly it's funny.
Yeah, you did a lot of that shtick. You did a lot of that. Now here I have to ask. Okay, I was reading a little bit about your bio.
Okay.
Now how did you go from like law school? I mean, that's serious stuff.
It is.
I mean, I even thought about that, and I said, "There's no way." I mean, I couldn't wait to get out of school after the 12th grade. After high school, I couldn't wait to get out. You know, going to college was like pulling teeth. You know, I couldn't. I mean, that was like death. And now you're going to go 3 more years. I mean, you had to be a serious student, and then you go to stand-up improv. And
Yeah.
how did that happen?
Well, it's more surprising that I went to law school. And the reason I went to law school is, you know, there's like a million
Your
people out
parents
there.
forced you?
No, I had no pressure from my parents at all. I had one of my professors said, "Karl, you should take the LSAT test. It's like the SAT for law school.
Yeah, right.
Standardized test." I've just always been really good at taking standardized tests. You know, everybody says like, you know, I'm smart, but I don't test well. Like, I test better than my intelligence. Like, I'm the one person, like...
You're a good guesser.
I'm just, I don't know. It's somehow, like,
Okay.
all these guys who are way smarter than me freak out at the test. But I did really good on the test, and it got me a full ride to law school. I didn't have to pay for it.
Okay, and that was here in Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
So now you did you pass the bar too?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Yep.
Did you ever actually work as an attorney, or you just said screw it? And
I kind of did. I worked for about 3 years with this pension board, just a retirement downtown. It was like a retirement
okay.
company. And I had a really good job where my job was just to be the liaison between the general counsel's office and the rest of the company. It was a great job. It was real easy. It was challenging, but I could show up when I wanted to. I could leave when I wanted to. I could do other things. And I did that for about 3 years. And then somebody kind of told me, "Well, Karl, you should do something real with this." So I got one law job that I had for a little while, and it was awful.
And then what happened? You found an improv class, or you...
No, I've been doing improv all through there. I just decided.
You were always a class clown? No.
No. I just started. I got really into improv when I was in college, and I just kept doing it. I just liked it so much. In some ways, I kind of worked through some of my social demons with comedy.
I think a lot of people that are really funny, there's like tragedy back behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And see, I didn't have any like serious, like I had a good family life and my life was good, except
Okay.
socially I always felt like I was an outcast, like in high school and junior high.
Okay.
I mean, I was always the smart one, you know, the
Okay.
brainiac. But I'd never felt accepted, and so I think that's kind of how I ended up.
Well, now listen, I know that at Stevie Ray's they give classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of the guys that teaches the classes?
I have been. I don't teach any right now, but that's more for scheduling reasons.
Because I saw what you guys did, and you know, for me, I'm the kind of guy I like to know where I'm going. I like to have things scripted, even though when I do like home shopping television or something like that, none of it's scripted. But that's different. You know, you're just you know
Right.
you know your product and you're telling people about the product. But something like that, I got to have it scripted. I don't know how you're coming up with that stuff off the top of your head. I mean, can you teach a guy like me something like that?
I would say it's all about realizing how easy it is.
Okay.
That's the key with improv is people think,
Can we do something right here, right now?
sure, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably just getting in over my head. You're a pro. I mean, I saw what you did up there with just stuff from the audience.
Okay, here's a good one. Like, I just cut you off in traffic, and
Well, but I don't like to swear on our webcast.
okay. You don't want to swear. All right.
I mean, I really not on the webcast.
All right. So
But I'm one of those angry. You know,
you're
I feel better when I cuss the guy
you're
out.
the father of the woman I want to marry, and I'm trying to broach that question with you. You ready?
Okay.
So, anyway, you got a nice place here, Mr. Magger.
Megan.
Megan, I know. I'm calling you Magger just for the scene. You're gonna be Magger.
Oh, okay. I'm Mager. Okay.
So, Mr. Meg, yeah, boy, you really, you've done a lot of good work with the place.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for taking me to the Vikes game. You know, I hope to maybe go to some games with you in future years.
Now, Karl, let me say this. I think you're a really nice guy, and my daughter is really fond of you, and I love the fact that
I love your daughter.
And I love the fact that you love my daughter, and I love the fact that you're making her happy. But I'm going to be honest with you. I won't be taking you in any more Viking games. That's out. After what you were rooting for the wrong team today. The people around me, they all know me. And
I can change. Look, just tell me. Look,
You did obviously
I wanna honor-
football is not one of your.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I was trying to fit in. And I don't know. It's like, I figured the guys with the yellow helmets were the ones to cheer for.
I know, but when they threw the game-deciding interception that went against us, and you were cheering, I mean, it
Yeah,
really
I know.
was embarrassing.
I couldn't figure it out because there's teams on both. And
All right, maybe.
Please, Mister,
okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
Okay, we'll
I'll
work
be
on
a
it.
better football fan.
We'll work on it.
Please.
We'll work on it.
Please.
We'll work on it.
See,
We're gonna
there's
work
a
it.
scene right there.
Okay. That wasn't much of a scene.
It was something.
See, I'm too soft though. I can't be, too jerky.
But the big thing with the scene is like, you don't have to think about what you're going to say next because
You just do it.
you just do it.
But
And-
you put on the characters though. You put on
Right.
voices and faces and
And so you dive into a character, but then when you're in that character, you're just
now
empty your brain.
Speaking of characters, Ronnie, I know we didn't have time to go over the pictures before the show, but there's one picture in there that says Karl the Roadie. Okay, and he's got a wig on. You'll see it in there. It's coming up. I put a whole bunch of pictures in there. There it was.
There he is. Oh yeah.
Okay, flash that if you could, Ronnie. Okay, but now I didn't see you do this character at Stevie Ray's.
Well, no. The problem was they put a kibosh on it.
What?
Yeah, well, we were doing. This is a roadie. I'm Karl the Roadie.
Wait a minute. Did you bring your wig?
I did, yeah.
Well, where is it?
Well, I don't know. I was so drunk, I don't even remember.
Oh man.
See, no. It's out there somewhere.
Okay, well, can you?
Oh, you go ahead and.
Hey, we can get our studio man.
All
over
right.
here.
Well, I can be the roadie for you though.
Okay.
But that's the thing with improv is you just go from one to the other.
Now, is this a new character for you?
This is a character I've had for about a year.
Now I understand that as a roadie that you don't make much money. So where do you live?
Oh, I live in my mom's basement.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's great. You got this set up here.
Yeah.
My basement is a freaking studio. And she's deaf. She doesn't have some neighbor. I don't have some neighbor bitching about how loud it is. She has no idea. Perfect, And I got the mobility and,
So you like hanging out with rock bands?
Yeah, I worked for, like Van Halen in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, and then was with Metallica.
What do? You set up the speakers and all that stuff?
Well, I was a chord guy for a long time. And then I was with Bieber.
You were a chord guy?
Yeah,
I don't mean to laugh, but what does a chord guy do?
I just made sure all the chords were put back. There's 30 footers and 25 footers, and you got to make sure they're all where they're supposed to be. There's shitloads of them.
Really?
They're all over the place.
So
yeah.
you could spot a 25-footer from a 30-footer just
well,
on
we had
sight.
it all color coded. I had different color tape for different things. If it was for audience stuff, I'd have them over in a different color. And
I see.
Big case, just packed with cords.
A lot of responsibility.
Oh yeah, it's about as much as I've ever had.
Yeah.
I dropped out of high school.
Yeah, but did you have other roadies that kind of looked up to you and stuff?
Oh, well, I suppose, there's guys coming out who are just never been on the road before. And I've been doing it for 30 years, ever since I dropped out of high school. So, I know the ropes.
That's right.
And know the chords.
Yeah.
Because they got chords.
But eventually you got off the chords, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, going a big tour, you're the master. If you're the master of the chord.
Okay. Very, very good.
Yeah, and this is it's my real hair. Just bought this actually.
Okay. Okay. So,
But
okay.
yeah, so
what band are you with now?
well, I've been between jobs for a couple of years.
Okay.
And well, the nice thing is my mom makes enough with her Social Security. She can, put food on the table. So, and I do work around the house, and
I see.
I run a karaoke.
Now, when
on
the band
Monday
travels
nights.
on the tour, you go on tour with them, right?
Yeah, well, Metallica went with they went on a youth movement, so all the old guys were out. It's a tough business for older guys, tell ya.
Oh yeah.
There's no ladder, unless you want to get into like management or something. I can't, I can hardly keep my checkbook in.
Yeah.
So I'm just an old guy who can't move as fast as the kid just out of school. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give myself a pity party, but
Okay, so you look
it's
for
been rough.
So you look for local stuff now. You look
Yeah, I'll set up. There's a bar down south side Minneapolis. One of my buddies from high school runs. He owns it now. So
Isn't there a lot in the Northeast too?
yeah, there's some up there. I know a few Northeast guys. Yeah, but I went to South. All my buddies down. They're down south side. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a bar, and I set up for them some. That makes a little cash here and there, but I'm living kind of on the edge.
So I guess Stevie Ray's wouldn't let you work there anymore, huh?
No, they kicked me out. I was disappointed. They want Karl. They want the other Karl. Mr. Brainiac guy.
Oh, okay.
Shit, that guy.
No characters.
Well, I'll tell you, that Karl, he's kind of stuck on himself.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I'll tell you, no, don't get me started on that guy.
All right, man. That's good. So cool, man. So when did you create the Roadie?
Well, we do this game called Jeopardy.
You know what? I think I have a couple of pictures, Ronnie, where showing the Jeopardy. Is that
Yeah.
it? Is that it right there?
That would be our Jeopardy structure. So,
Now, was that at Stevie Ray's?
nope, that was just something we did
Oh, okay.
on the side.
Okay.
And so we just have they make up categories just like Jeopardy. So the category could be historians.
Okay.
And then we get the answers from the audience. So the answer is Abraham Lincoln. And then we have to come up with funny questions to it.
Now, before we go any further, I think this is a good point, Ronnie. To put it out there, anybody watching the show right now, we'd love to have your calls. Call in, throw Karl a curveball here, ask him a crazy question, whatever. Let's get a little interaction going here because I know you wrote a novel too. I want to talk about that.
I did.
Ronnie, I put a picture of the book in there. Here's the phone number on the screen right up above. Give us a call, and let's get you on the line here. But tell us quickly about this novel here. What is it? The Salvation of Elmer?
Salvation of Elmer Blott.
What's this all about?
All right, two guys. So the book starts. It's in the small town of Minnesota, kind of like the town I grew up in, which is Warmer. So this is a town of about 5,000 people, and the two main characters. One of them is the mayor of the town, who basically owns this whole town. I mean, this town was owned by his great grandfather.
Like a Minnesota type of town?
Yeah, a Minnesota, with farms and
Fishing.
grain elevators and fishing. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's just a typical small Minnesota town, heavily Lutheran. And so this guy owns the town. He's the richest guy in town. And he is biking out to the edge of town to this rusted out trailer on the edge of town. And he does this every morning and has breakfast with this guy named Elmer Blott, who is a hermit. And he's everybody in town knows there's this weird guy, skinny little guy, who lives in this rusted out old trailer on the edge of town. And so the mystery is, why does the richest man in town every morning go and have breakfast with this? He's basically a hermit who doesn't take care of himself. I mean, he doesn't have a job. He just kind of lives in this little trailer.
And what is the
basically the Elmer is somebody who has an amazing gift to he has just amazing insight into things.
like the horse whisperer or something like that?
Kind of like that,
Okay.
like which stock to buy, which what should you do about this? He just kind of can see into things.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this weird backstory with a dad who got shot in the head in World War II, and the bullet went into his temple. And this has happened. I know this has happened. It just blinded him. Nothing else. You get shot in the head in the right place, and it just severs your optic nerve, and you're just blind. But he's convinced that he's dead. He gets shot in the head. He feels his head get hit. Everything goes black, and he wakes up, and he's blind, so he thinks he's in heaven. So his dad basically spends his whole life thinking he's in heaven. And so this kid grows up in a family where the dad thinks he's dead.
Now you made
Thinks
this
he's-
up?
Yeah. And it's a little bit of a weird story, but his mom is kind of mildly retarded
Okay.
because his dad had this vision that he was going to die in the war, and he was convinced, he was certain he was going to die in the war. So when he gets shot in the head and everything goes black, he thinks he's dead. But before he had gone to the war, he decided, well, before I die, since I'm going to die in the war, I need to have sex. And in rural Minnesota, having sex means getting married. And the only one who said yes was Marla Nyquist, who was mildly retarded.
Wow.
So this kid grows up in this government issue trailer on the edge of town that the Veterans Administration gave to his dad. And his dad is talking about heaven. His dad thinks he's in heaven, and his mom is retarded. And he grows up in this little cocoon, and he ends up having to take care of everything.
Now, when did you put this book out?
Last year.
Okay. And I know it's being sold on Amazon because that's where I got the picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you wouldn't send me a damn picture.
I'm sorry, I know.
So I went on the internet and I found the book on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon has everything.
It does, yeah.
It's unbelievable. So these books actually do sell.
I've sold probably 200 something.
But it sounds like it'd be a heck of a movie.
I think it would be.
You probably thought about that.
Yeah. I think Ed Harris would play a good Elmer Blott. I think Jeff Bridges would be a good Gordon Clay. He's the other character.
Love Jeff Bridges.
I do too.
Was he great in Seabiscuit?
He was. He's been great in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and the two brothers that play the piano.
Oh, the Fabulous Baker
The
Boys.
Fabulous Baker Boys.
Well, and then my favorite is The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I know. I have that too. I'm not that crazy about it, but
Yeah.
I do have it. Yeah.
I enjoy that one a lot.
That's cool. That's cool.
And he was really good in Crazy Heart.
Well, if what would you say if we get a good call from somebody out there, that contributes to the show, that maybe you give them a free book? Would you do that?
I would do that.
You would do that?
I would do that.
Ronnie, I had a hunch you would do that. I made a graphic for that. So if you,
I'm a pushover.
I didn't have a chance to get with Ronnie before the show. We were scrambling, getting your things set up here and all this. But you see that, Ronnie? There it is. Thank you. See that? Win a novel.
Wow.
See, I knew you were going to give one away.
It'll be a signed copy too. How's that? I will sign it personally.
Okay. But we got to have somebody with a good call.
Yes.
You got to, somebody's got to give us a call in here. Now when I met you, before I met you out there on the patio at, what is it called? Brzezinski's?
Brindisi's.
Brindisi's.
That's
Yeah.
the owner of the Chanhassen. His name is Michael Brindisi. So.
Okay, so there's a pub within the dinner theater, and we were out on the patio, and before you came out there, there was this chick, and I thought she was pretty wild. I thought that, this is a pretty interesting chick, and it turns out that she's your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So now, how did that come all about?
Well, and that's
she's pretty wild, and you're pretty wild. So you two guys must be going at it all the time, as far as with the shtick all the time.
Oh yeah, we do that a lot. We do
Shtick.
We've done shtick. Yeah, we do a lot of shtick.
Okay.
Like at Nice Pawnays, I'll be playing there, and she'll come in. I'll be like, "Hey, give me a beer." I'll just slip into like
And she's pretty nutty.
and she'll come back at, "You get your own beer," and we'll have a little scene when she walks into Nice.
Yeah, she really had me going there for a while.
And we met at Stevie Ray's.
Oh,
she
you
was because we have our troupe.
cocktail
right?
waitress.
Exactly.
Was she really?
No. She was like.
No, I was doing the bit, on Saturday Night Live where they would finish each other's sentences.
Oh yeah.
It was like a ball peen hammer. Yeah, that's it. Right? You remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Billy Crystal, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I go way back.
That's total improv.
Yeah. So.
But she was not.
She was a cocktail waitress. No. Okay,
But she was like a sub for our troupe.
Okay.
So we have the basic four.
Oh, so she's a professional.
So she was.
I knew she was too good to be just a normal chick.
She was. Well, that was her first professional work. She's been like the HR person.
Now when I went to your Facebook page, which took you 3 days to friend me, okay, to say
I'm
my
sorry.
friendship. I know you're like the most No, I'm kidding. But anyway, then I could see all these pictures because I
Right.
couldn't see them until you friended me.
Right.
And so I went there, and there's all these pictures with you and her, and I grabbed a few.
Go for it.
Ronnie, do you have those? By the way, that one picture I grabbed, that's not you. That's Kelsey Grammer.
That is Kelsey Grammer.
You know,
That's the one I get the most.
well,
Look-alike.
people say you look like him. Mm-hmm. Show that picture, Ronnie. That could be you,
Yeah,
but you have more hair than him.
I do. I'm kind of like. I'm Frasier. Like Cheers Frasier.
Okay.
That's about what I am. Which
Okay.
is about 20 years ago.
Okay, but Ronnie, I put some pictures in there with his girlfriend now. Oh, there's a little side by. Nice job, Ronnie. Well, you know, if you wanted to make yourself try to look like him, you could probably.
Oh, I could, yes.
Then you could nail it.
And I could probably do the voice kind of. He's got a deep voice and he laughs like,
Yeah. But okay, here we go. This is Kristen, right?
Yep.
Now, where is she tonight?
She is just at home.
Does she know you're here?
Mm-hmm. I actually dropped her off before. The reason I had to be a little late was because she forgot to drive to class today. So
Oh, okay.
I had to drive her home because I'm a good boyfriend.
So what'd you do? Take the bus?
She takes the bus to work and then took the bus down to,
Okay.
yeah, she lives north Minneapolis. She calls herself Freya the Playa because she's Norwegian. So she calls herself Freya, which is like the Norse goddess. But she can handle north Minneapolis, so.
Now, there's also some pictures of you in here at Polonaise.
Mm-hmm.
That's the piano bar. Here we go. And like I said, I was just there with my sister, and we love the place.
It's a great place.
I mean, it's old and everything like that, but it's that real heavy Polish food,
yeah.
which is, it's if you like that kind of stuff, which I do.
It's very good. I'm
You know.
pleased with most of the stuff I get there.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I
you're
really
working
enjoy
there
that.
2 nights a week. Now, who is this guy Cowley? Because I went and I looked on their website, and it says Sunday and Monday Cowley, but it's not Cowley. It's you. Did they
It's
just
me.
did
They just changed. They had a big changeover, and I don't know what happened.
They just didn't update the website?
It's nice. It's still an old place. The guys who own that
They're
place,
better at making the food than they are fixing the website.
The guys who run the place have been, they're not web savvy guys. It's not like a couple of young tech upstart guys. They're old school Northeast guys.
Yeah.
So they've been, they're not comfortable with fax machines. Those kind of guys. So I wouldn't be surprised because I think actually still in the marquee on the door it still says him.
Cowley.
Yeah.
So he was playing before you.
Yep.
On the Sunday, Monday.
And then there's another guy, Mike. So there was just a big changeover. They just kind of got new people.
Okay, so 2 nights a week you're playing the piano bar, and then I think, what is it, Friday and Saturday you're at the Stevie Ray's? Because I came and saw you on a Friday night.
It's Friday and Saturday right now. Like last winter, we went up to like Thursday through Sunday. But in the summer, we usually go down to Friday and Saturday.
And then the rest of the week you just work on your shtick and stuff? Or
I do a lot of stuff. Like I actually tutor in...
I saw that. Math?
I tutor in a lot of stuff. I'm a math teacher, a certified math teacher too.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
And so I actually sub a couple days a week.
At
make
a
ends meet. Just
high
in
school?
St. Paul. I'm on the sub
junior
list.
high, high school?
I do them all.
Really?
I just take... With St. Paul,
Now, by the way, math was like my thing.
Math was my thing too.
That was like, English was a struggle. History, I didn't care. Chemistry, forget it. But math, I know people say, well, chemistry, if you're good at math, you should know, but I wasn't there. But math, I was down. I was there. I got a 800 on the ACT and a 790 on the SAT, which is, the SAT is easier than the ACT, but somehow I missed one.
Wow, but those are really good scores.
Yeah, but on the math part.
Just on the math part. right.
So I was good on the
I've always
algebra,
liked
geometry, and all that stuff.
I've always liked math, and it's like actually when I went to law school, I was just out of college, and I had professors telling me like, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I've always been kind of aimless, and they said,
Okay.
"Well, you should get a PhD in math," and I probably would have, but I just took the LSAT and got a free ride to law school.
Okay, so you're dealing with these kids now.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Sometimes.
Really? Come on.
You know what I like about it is that every day I have a brand new challenge. And it's kind of like, it's a great way.
I mean, I did that thing in my life with the kids. And at this point in my life, I'm sorry. I'm not going out with any girl that has kids. You know what I'm saying? You know
I'm
what I mean?
so glad my girlfriend does not have kids. I don't.
Well, she may still want them.
Nope. She got an operation. Sorry, I'm telling you.
Hey, what else do you want to get? That's hysterical. No, but seriously.
She has a mole on her ass. No, I'm kidding. She doesn't.
No, but seriously, I did the kid thing. You know what I'm saying?
I never
and
have,
now
and I
to
never
be
will.
around kids, I've got neighbors here with little kids, you know?
Yeah.
And, here in Minnesota, especially I'm on a lake here, so we get these box elder bugs. Now, have you ever seen these box elder bugs?
Yes.
They make me sick. I mean, I'm so, they're harmless,
But they're just all over the place.
but they're all over the place. And then people say, "Oh, don't worry, they're harmless. It's going to go away when the weather gets cold." But I say, I would bomb the place. You know what I mean? I would really.
And they get thick. I mean, it's just like a whole layer of.
Right. Well, so there's these little kids out there. They're like 4 and 6 and 8. Downstairs, and they're like playing with all these bugs and shit. And this little girl, my neighbor, she has a cup, and I guess they're in the cup, and she comes up to me and she's holding it, and I'm going, oh God, no. And she goes, and she starts, he's a scaredy cat. She's like 4 years old. It's got come on, man. My second ex-wife used to kill all my bugs for me. You know what I mean? I'm not kidding you. I just am not into the bugs. But Minnesota's not the right place.
Minnesota's got bugs.
But I mean, here's what I mean. This is kids.
Yeah, well, kids can be annoying, and I love the fact that I can leave those kids at 2:30.
So when you're working all the schools, you're working elementary, junior high, middle, and high school. What's your favorite grade to?
Boy.
The high school?
A really good group of 5th grade kids, because they're not cynical yet, but they still look at you like, because I'll talk to my kids about all kinds of different stuff, and they just...
You don't try to be funny to the kids, do you?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. I gotta keep it interesting for myself.
So they like you?
Generally, yeah. But I'm also, I know how to teach. I taught in the public schools for years.
Okay.
I know how to do it.
All right, cool.
And the nice thing about it, it's not like having a kid that you're really responsible for. I don't have to care about them very much.
Well, I used to coach.
Okay.
When my stepson was going through the baseball, I coached him all the way through 8 years old up to 13. And by the time he was 14, he said, if you're coaching in the league, I'm not going to play for you.
Wow.
He didn't want to play for me. Every kid in the league wanted to be on my team, except my stepkid. He had it with me, but I was really hard on him. But my point is that my age group that I liked the best was the 13 and 14-year-olds.
Really?
Yeah, when they were, up to in little league ball, that is, up to 12. A lot of them are in there because the parents make them play.
Mm-hmm.
They're in there. But when you get to those 13s and 14s, those kids are there because they like baseball. They want to play. But they also develop in minds of their own. And we had some real smart Alex on that team.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the problem, I
Yeah.
like 13, 14-year-olds. They're really interesting. The problem is 13-year-old boys are retarded when they're around girls. Like, they get stupid. Like,
Okay.
the breasts just are like their kryptonite. They're just like, they're just dumb. Like, some kid, I've had it before. Like, some kid I'm talking to,
Okay.
just a nice kid. And then, he comes in a little early for class and he's talking to me. And then suddenly 2 girls, he's like, hey! He turns into an animal because he sees breasts and he's like, "Ma, I don't know what to do."
That's funny.
I've seen it. I've seen it like night and day. Like, I'll have a group of.
But that's really not that different than men.
I think we hide it better,
Oh, we do.
I
Okay.
think we do.
That's what it is. Yeah.
and to be honest, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I can handle women. I don't freak out like I used to. I don't get as excited. Maybe just because I'm older, I just don't. I'm not governed.
You're so cool now.
I'm just.
You know,
I'm less sexualized. How's that?
Okay. All right, I'll buy that. So, again, we're looking for people to call in. Come on, somebody give us a call, would you?
Yeah.
But look, one of the things that I'm into, and you singing to me was a surprise
Okay.
because I saw you first as a comedy guy. Then to learn that you also sang, that was a surprise to me. And one of my, I guess, hidden dreams, would be to be a singer because I can't carry a note.
Oh.
When I was a kid, I played trumpet. So I
Okay.
love music. I like the old jazz and the old, standards and all that, like Sinatra and Ella and Nat King Cole. That's the kind of stuff that I like. But if I could sing, if I could come back as anything, I would like to come back as a singer, and then I would just never work again. That's all I would do is just sing. That's how much I love it. So one of the things is that I am a real fan of these singing competition shows.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. I'm addicted to them. I've seen them, maybe not all of them, but I remember Rockstar Supernova and Star Maker and American Idol, of
Star
course.
Search.
I remember Star Search,
That was
yeah.
real early one.
Yeah, with Ed McMahon and everything. I remember that, of course. But American Idol, the X Factor now with Simon Cowell, and of course The Voice. Now, do you watch these things? Being a singer,
I just watched The Voice for the
This
first
week?
time. Yeah, that's with like Adam Levine and
yes, Christina
Christina,
and Blake.
Yeah,
Blake Shelton.
I love that show.
I do too. I'm
I
addicted
like
to it.
that that the judges have to,
Hear the voice,
and they have to
flip around.
fight over him.
You know, there is a cat, and I didn't save the video, but he's actually from St. Paul, and he kind of looks like a big old hillbilly, and he just got picked on the show last week. Okay, and I mean, he doesn't necessarily do Minnesota too proud because, like I said, he goes on there, he's got a scraggly old beard.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he guy's got a great voice. He's got a great voice, and I think his name, I can't remember his name now, but I didn't save his. But what I do is I do have some of the clips in the system.
Oh, okay.
So you being a singer, we could get your opinion.
Oh, I got
You into that?
Sure.
Okay, but I didn't get anything into the system from this week. It's from last week.
That's fine.
Okay, Ronnie. Now, did you happen to get those in the system?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You want to see a chick or you want to see a dude?
Let's see. Let's do a dude.
All right, I thought this guy was pretty remarkable. His name was Bryan Keith. Do you see that one?
Yep.
Check this out.
All right.
If you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door. 'Cause it would take a whole lot of medication to realize what we used to have. We don't have it anymore. There's no religion that can save me. No matter how long my knees are on the floor. Oh, so keep in mind all the sacrifices I'm making to keep you by my side and keep you from walking out the door. 'Cause there'll be no sunlight if I lose you. Yeah, sing your heart out, baby. There'll be no clear skies if I lose you, baby. Just like the clouds, my eyes will do the same. If you walk away, every day it'll rain, rain, rain. Woo!
Yeah, that's my boy right there.
Okay, what did you think? That was Bryan Keith.
He's outstanding. He's got a very good voice.
I think that guy's a threat.
Yeah.
You saw he had all
He
four
can
chairs.
belt. Yeah. He
And
can belt.
he's got a distinctive sound. Now you saw it backstage, like his dad, the bald-headed guy. That's his inspiration. His dad's in a band,
Right.
a professional singer and everything, but he did this completely on his own. I don't know if you happened to catch the X Factor last night, but they had Gene Simmons' daughter on there. Did you see that?
No.
I didn't put the clip in the system.
Was
but
she good?
To be honest with you, she was kind of weak, and they let her through.
Right. Well, Gene
But you know,
Simmons.
at this level, to let her through the audition stage is not a big deal because when they get to what they call their boot camp in American Idol, they call it Hollywood Week.
Right.
In X Factor, they call it boot camp. They get like 200 people in boot camp, and only 32 are going to emerge from that. So to let somebody through to that level, they're probably going to get cut anyway.
And so boot camp is just putting them through different vocal exercises.
Yeah, and they put them in groups.
Yeah.
You know, you got to sing with 4 or 5 other people, and they all fight with each other, and it makes for good TV, and stuff like that. They fight
Right.
over who gets the solos and the best parts and all that crap. So it's good for TV and stuff. I like it when they get down to a manageable number, and we can kind of start to see who's good and who's
Right.
the train wreck auditions where it's just goofball stuff. I don't really care for that. To me,
I enjoy it. I enjoy it on YouTube when I can just click it and look at
yeah.
the worst auditions. I don't want to.
You like those?
I do.
hate those.
Some of the best ones are
But most people like those.
the best of the bad are really funny. Like there's just some freaks that
Yeah, but it's so sad. I mean, some of these people really think they can
I know,
sing.
and I find that it's so interesting.
That is so sad.
It's sad, but it's interesting.
All right, most people like that stuff. I just like to hear the good singers.
Yeah. No, hearing a good singer, there's a lot of pleasure.
So
in
you
that.
thought this guy was pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. What we'll do is we're going to do another one, and while we play that clip, we can get set up for you to do another.
Okay.
Now, listen, I like old stuff. You don't play any of the old stuff, do you?
Oh yeah.
You do a Sinatra or Nat King Cole?
I can do. Well, I just did "Georgia on My Mind" by Ray Charles.
That was Ray Charles. Yes, fair enough. Fair enough.
I can do.
What do you got?
Let's see. I'll get something for you. I'll surprise you. But I'll try to do something old.
Okay. Sinatra?
How about "Under My Skin"?
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
All right.
Sammy used to do that.
All right.
You know Sammy Davis?
I know Sammy Davis very well.
Okay. All right. Well, so then while we go to a video clip, so we can set up the camera for you. I've got a few of them loaded in here from The Voice. You want to see another guy or a chick?
Let's compare two guys. Unless there's not another.
No. There's some great ones. This guy Trevin. I thought he was pretty spectacular. This guy Tate Stevens, a country guy, was. I'm telling you, this guy blows, man. I mean, he's got a voice and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the Blake guy? Is he a country?
Oh yeah, Blake has been like the American. What do they call it? American Country Music Entertainer of the Year, like 2 years in a row.
That's right. Okay.
So whatever they call that award, But I mean,
I don't know a whole lot about country.
he's like the top guy.
Okay.
He's a great singer. One of the things I do like about The Voice is when they get to, and I like all of them, but when they get to the live shows, like right now we're seeing edited tapes of these blind auditions.
Right.
Next week will be the last week of that. And then they're going to go to their battle rounds. And the battle rounds are also taped. But when we get to the live shows after that, then every week you're going to see these judges perform on The Voice. So you're going to see Christina and Adam and CeeLo, and every week they have whether they do a duet, maybe Christina and Adam do a duet, or all four of them, or Blake will sing with one of his people or something. They're
always on stage.
They perform. Whereas with American Idol, when they had Steven Tyler and J-Lo the last couple of years, which they're both out now.
Right. They never performed, did they?
Once a year, like at the end of the year, Steven Tyler went up and did a new song, or J-Lo did a performance like once a season. But on The Voice, it's like every week.
Yeah.
So you get to see these judges perform, and I love Christina. I'm sorry.
She's very good.
Yeah.
She's got a great voice.
Yeah, I was watching The X Factor last night, and one of the chicks that was auditioning. See, I always like the humble ones. The ones that, well, I'm going to do the best I can, or, well, you decide, kind of, as opposed to the ones like, I'm going to be a legend, and, all these ones that get carried away with themselves, they're usually not the ones that do well. Well, there was a chick last night that got through on the X Factors made it through.
Right.
But she was very, like assured of herself that she's going to win the show, and in 5 years' time, she's going to be a judge on the panel, and she's going to replace, Britney Spears or just Demi Lovato. Now, Demi Lovato is one of the judges on the X Factor.
Right.
Now, do you know who she is?
She's a former American Idol something, right?
No. She was a Disney girl.
Oh.
Okay, like, a lot of singers come through Disney.
All I think of is she's one of those manufactured.
She's incredible. She's got a great voice. I mean, she's only 19 years old. She's a judge on the X Factor. Disney cranks out Christina Aguilera,
right.
Britney Spears. Of course, you go way, way, way back. Annette Funicello.
Right.
I'm old enough. You're too young.
I remember her.
Okay, but
she was cute.
Yeah, but anyway, so Demi Lovato was in. If you on the Disney Channel, some of these shows that they have, including this one they did called Camp Rock. Anyway, she's got an amazing voice, and she was kind of a troubled girl. She was one of those girls that cuts herself and stuff.
Right.
But she's cured now. I mean, I think.
Well,
she's old.
She can hide it.
No, but she looks great. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
Right. So this girl comes up there, and she says that, I think L.A. Reid, who's one of the judges, says to her, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? She says, right there. Oh, really? Well, who are you going to replace? Well, one of the two girls, kind of thing. So Simon says to her, or L.A. Reid says to her, okay, so you're a female singer. Who's on the female scene that you want to take out? And she says, Christina Aguilera. You know, so L.A. Reid says, I like you already, you know, because there's a little bit of rivalry.
Oh, between the shows?
Well, between the shows, and of course the whole Britney Christina thing. They're both from Disney. They were both, you know, in the MMC, the Mickey Mouse Club, at the same time when they were little kids and everything.
With Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, and I mean, I think they're both great, but I don't think Britney can sing with Christina.
No.
I mean,
Christina's a voice.
I mean, that's...
Britney is, yeah.
Yeah, Christina's amazing.
Right.
But anyway, so this girl sang, and she was okay. They let her through, and they played it up. That's part of the thing now. They like to play up their people so that they're like selling them to you, like so that their show is better than the other one's show.
Right. So she was probably wise to be all cocky because that makes for good story. It's like, ooh, she's the cocky one. I want to follow her.
Yeah.
No?
That doesn't work for me. But you're right. You know,
I could see that being the reason to send them forward, you know?
Yeah.
Like Gene Simmons' daughter. It's nice to have.
And she wasn't that good, you know, but I had no problem with them letting her through.
Right.
Because I don't think she's going to make it through the next level. Because the next level is massive cuts. It goes from like 200 down to 30, you know.
I've never watched the show. I don't have a TV at home, so
See, I can't live without a TV. I mean, you see how many TVs I got in this place.
I know.
I mean,
well, it's not because I'm against TV. It's just because I don't buy stuff.
well, what
I
about
don't own
sports?
stuff.
You don't watch sports?
I go online and
I was kidding around in our shtick here about, well, I'll never take you to the Viking game. You're
Oh, I
probably a
know.
football fan.
I'm a football fan.
Yeah, me too. So
I
you're
just-
a Viking fan?
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
a Jets fan. But don't
That's
hold that.
fine because there's no. When was the last time the Jets played the Vikings? 3 years ago.
Probably, but the Jets.
If you're
are,
a Packer fan, that might be a problem. But
The Jets are in trouble this year. They're in big trouble, you know. And I kind of get into the Vikings a little bit because I've been coming here for 8 years, so I
Right.
know lots of Vikings fans here. But one thing that kind of surprised me is how many Packer fans are here because even though I've been coming here for a long time, most of the people I knew were Vikings fans. And to get the Jets games, we get if it's a national game, we can get it. But if it's not a national game, the only way you can get it is if you have DirecTV.
right.
I can't get DirecTV in this building. They won't let me put a dish on the roof here, which is just stupid because the only people that can see it is this lake. It's not even in vision, and there's no people on the lake. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's not like a skiing lake or anything.
No, it's Lake Hazeltine. It's the golf course is on the other side.
Oh,
It's
right, okay.
No boats, no people, no nothing. So it's only visible by wildlife. And, you know, I mean, I got the hold of the management and the regional manager and all that kind of. They would not let me do it. Okay, so I can't get the Jets game. So I have to go to a place where they have like a whole bunch of screens where they're showing it, right?
Right.
So I went to this place off the 494. Have you heard of Joe Sensors?
I have. I've been there.
So I went there, and first of all, you better get there at least 2 hours, I would say, before kickoff for Viking games because the place is packed. You can't even get in there.
Well, you know who Joe Sensor is?
No.
He's a former All-Star tight end for the Vikings back in the 80s.
Is he still alive?
In fact, his wife just got convicted of vehicular manslaughter for driving drunk and hitting a guy.
You know what? I heard that on the radio. This guy that does the Garage Logic.
Yeah, Souchere.
What's his name?
Souchere. Joe Souchere?
Okay, he's funny.
He is a funny guy.
I mean, these are Minnesota. I mean, it's like Minnesota logic. They call it Garage Logic.
Right.
I'm driving around and I'm listening about this guy whose wife was in for manslaughter or something. I didn't know that was Joe Sensor though.
Yep. That was Joe. It was Amy Sensor, Joe Sensor's wife.
So anyway, I go in there with a friend of mine who just wanted to, you know, kill some time. He's not really into football, and I wanted to watch the Jet game. And I figured, okay, here's a place that I've been told they have whatever 30,
Right.
40 screens. They get to show every game. Well, first of all, they had the Jets game on one screen. Okay, there was like 20 screens with the Viking game and another 20 screens with the Packer game. And every other minute, you'd hear like a big roar, you know, and it was either the Packers scored on their game or the Vikings scored on their game. But there are just as many Packer fans in that place
Yep.
and we're in Minneapolis.
I know. There are. It's shameful. It's a shameful thing about Minnesota that we have so many Packer fans.
But that shows you, you know, what a rivalry that is.
and
The Vikings and the Packers, it's like.
well, it also tells you something about the Packers are a unique organization. I mean, that town, but it should not have a pro football team. It's a tiny town,
Right.
but it's just the whole state and that whole town is just so invested in it.
Now, did you happen to see the football game on Monday night?
I saw the footage of
The last play?
the catch.
Yeah, I was right here. I was watching it, and I was going crazy. I had a friend up here, and trying to explain to my friend, because I knew instantly when this happened, with the replacement officials, the controversial thing, all of the, controversial calls that have been going on with these guys.
Oh, it's bad.
Well, now they settled today. You know that.
Yep.
Right?
And they settled on the referee's terms.
Right. They settled yesterday, but they had the real officials in the game tonight, the NFL game tonight.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good.
Well, yeah, as soon as you saw that, I was like, okay, the referees are going to get whatever they want. Because this blew up. The NFL guys were like, you know what? We were wrong. You guys get whatever you want.
All right, so here, we're going to set up so that you
Okay.
can... Now here, before you get up, we're going to go to a video, so give Ronnie a chance to set the camera up. I want you to check this guy out. This is Trevin Hunte. Now, this guy's 18 years old from New York.
Okay.
And I think he said that it was his, 7th grade teacher that said, you're never going to be anything, you're never going to amount to anything. Okay? Now listen to this kid's voice. Okay? Check him out.
Listen to the song here in my heart, a melody I start, can't believe. Listen to the sound from deep within, it's only beginning to find release. Oh, the time has come for my dreams to hurt. They will not be pushed aside or turned into your own, all 'cause you won't listen.
So, the song we always have to do, so I'm going to end with this one. It's 10 o'clock on a Thursday. There's no crowd to shuffle in. There's an old man next to me making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La 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 diddy dum, la la diddy do do dum. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling alright. Now John at the bar is a friend of mine, and he gets me my drinks for free. And he's quick with a joke or a lighty a smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He says, Bill, I believe this is killing me, as the smile ran away from his face. Well, I'm sure that I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. Oh, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright. And that's the all I'm gonna do that one. All right. Thank you. All right. I can do any song you want half-assed. How's that?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool, man. Here's what we're going to do, Ronnie. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more with Karl Olson. Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
Chill with Larry Megan.
ZuluTimeZone.com is the first and only authorized dealer for Offshore Limited in the United States. ZuluTimeZone.com is proud to support Chillin' with Larry Megan and Acorn TV. Use the discount coupon code DAD to receive an additional $20 off per item. ZuluTimeZone.com digs Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Well, tonight we're chilling with a good friend Karl Olson. He's an improv comedy man. He does stand-up comedy. He does a piano bar over at Polonaise, nice Polonaise restaurant in downtown Minneapolis. Okay, we've got Carol from Chicago is on the line. Carol, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi there. I have a question for Karl.
Okay.
Okay, so Karl, I've heard lots about you, your playing and your improv. This is my question. If you were to hand select an audience, what do you look for?
Hand select an audience. I like an audience.
Time's up.
Oh. I like an audience to be educated, and I like there to be enough alcohol in the audience that they're willing to be loose. At least in Minnesota, that's important to have them loose. And then I like to have at least half the audience be women, because then the men don't get too bad. Because one of the biggest concerns in an improv audience is they get so drunk and stupid that you can't really get anything through.
Now, Carol, let me ask you something. Do you know Karl?
Do I know Karl? I was there a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I think I know Karl pretty well.
Is this Karl Olson?
Yes.
All right. Hey, Carol.
Nice. That's good. That's nice to hear from you, Carol. So is this your mother?
I'm the founder of the Karl Olson fan club.
All right.
Is this your mother?
No, it's my cousin.
Well, I mean, the same last name. Why not?
Is this your mother?
She's far
That's
too
right.
young to be my mother. How's that? There you go, Carol.
No, he was incredible. I've never seen or heard him live, and I wanted to do that. It was back in Minnesota. I'm a Minnesotan. And I started asking friends to go with me, and then we had many, and they fell in love with Karl immediately, and they fell in love with Kristen immediately, and forever and ever. So there.
That was so much fun.
Well, you know what? I can second that, Carol, because I didn't know your cousin at all, and I got invited to come out to the show, and I went there not knowing who anybody was, and I was just blown away at what these guys do at the Improv. They had us write down things on slips of paper, and they were, making up stuff as they were going along. And I don't know if you were at the same show I was, but I was pretty loud. I was cracking up out there.
She was at Nice.
Oh, at Nice. Oh, have you seen Karl? Have you seen Karl do the Improv? Because at Nice he's okay, but at Stevie Ray's, he's really good. No, I'm kidding around.
Okay.
I'm kidding around.
I did.
That's for your next trip to Minneapolis.
Carol, the next time you come up here and you visit your cousin, you should stop up and say hello up here.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I definitely will. Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling.
Okay.
Thanks for joining the show, Carol. Take care.
Yes.
Okay.
You also. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Always nice to have the devoted.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That was great. She's like, Carol is my cousin's wife. So
Okay.
she's my cousin, I guess. I don't know what they call that.
Uh-huh.
But she just was in town, and my family, I grew up in a very conservative Christian family. My dad's side is very Christian. And so she was always curious about our family because I was doing things that weren't.
Were you singing in church? No.
No. Well, I suppose I was at some point, but
Okay.
I do things that, kind of in the world.
Okay.
In the world. Like the piano bar, there's alcohol there, and that's a sin. The alcohol, so that's what.
Minnesotans really are big drinkers, though, I think.
Not as much.
No? I don't know.
I think Wisconsin's. Well, here's what Minnesota is. Minnesota is a lot of people who never drink in public and then go home and have a bottle of vodka that they down.
Okay.
What I mean?
I keep some Grain Belt in the.
That's good.
That's a local.
Yeah.
It's a local brand of beer here. I keep some in the fridge
Grain
for
Belt's
company.
good.
For company.
And then I'm a beer guy.
Well, Grain Belt's a beer.
I know. I love Grain Belt.
And then they have a dark one. What's that one called?
Northeast.
Is it Northeast?
Yeah.
Very, very nice. All right, that was great. Now, a question I have for you. Do you like old movies? Because a lot of what we do.
I love old movies. Yeah.
No, you don't.
I love the old movies that I've seen.
Okay.
I haven't seen a lot of old movies, but I really enjoy the old Hitchcock movies.
Because I was talking to your girl about that before I knew she was your girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she likes the old movies too much.
No, she's not as much into them.
No.
But see, I'm into old, like I've been a huge Woody Allen fan for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I love his whole, I was into Woody Allen before I'd ever met a Jewish person.
Yeah, Annie Hall.
Annie Hall, I loved Manhattan.
Yeah.
These are movies that came out before I was old enough to see them, so I went back and watched all of his.
Couple of lines I can recall from Annie Hall, where he says, "I would never want to be a member of a club that would have me as a member." That's funny. And then the other one he said is that I'm gonna screw it up. I know that because I haven't seen it in years, but something to the effect of there's two kinds of people in this world. There's the miserable and the horrible. And the horrible are these like just terminal cases, people with no arms and legs and cancer and, with these deadly, diseases. So really, you should thank God that you're miserable. Right? Do you remember that from Annie Hall?
Yes.
You should thank God that you're miserable.
Kind of like that, he's talking about his family or something, and he goes like, because somebody else was talking about how their parents got divorced, and he goes, "Oh no, my parents were too miserable to think about divorce."
Yeah, it's so New York Jewish humor.
Right, exactly.
It's hysterical. Great. It's hysterical.
And here I was in the fields, and I was like, "This."
Yeah. But what about stuff going back? You say you like old movies, like 30s, 40s, 50s, any of that stuff?
Citizen Kane.
1939, Orson Welles.
Great movie. I love Touch of Evil.
I don't know that one. Touch of Evil?
Yeah, it's another Orson Welles. You're not a big Orson Welles fan?
I'm not a big Orson Welles fan. I really didn't even love Citizen Kane that much, you know.
That was a good movie.
But I have it, of course, because it's, you know, you have to have that one in your library. When we get done, we didn't have time yet. I didn't show you. I got to show you my library, you know.
There's some. I mean, I've liked them. For me, when I was growing up, old movies was like movies from the '60s and '70s. And
Okay.
so,
What about musicals? Now musicals is kind of an acquired taste. You know, people watch that and they say, "Oh, that's nobody just breaks into song." You have to suspend reality.
Right.
You know, so you're not.
I really loved. I went to Wicked and I loved.
Now, see, you should like musicals because a lot of what you guys do on the Improv, you guys are all singing and dancing and just making stuff up there.
I'd love to be in a musical. I don't know if I'd want to see musicals every day. How's that?
All right.
I'd like to be in them. I love singing. If somebody lets me dance in public, I'll do it. I'm not a great dancer, but.
Well, do you have any favorites, like as far as maybe not the movies, but individuals like Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire, or you see who might?
Gene Kelly, I loved Singing in the Rain.
Okay.
I love that movie. He's my favorite dancer. He's like an athletic dancer.
Yeah.
You know, I like those athletic dancers. So he was really fun to watch. Like that one where he does the dance with the cartoon. That was really.
That's in Anchors Aweigh, and that's 1945. Ronnie,
Okay.
let's see if we can find that clip, Ronnie. I'm not sure if we have it. It's not queued in the system, but it would be on the hard drive. You'd have to go into the Anchors Aweigh folder. Anchors Aweigh, and it would be the Worry Song, I think it's called, the Worry Song. You got it? Okay, great. Why don't you come on over? We'll take a look at that. And here's what. Let me set this up for you. This is. It's amazing that you remember that, because I was thinking you're going to come up with something from the 1950s, like Singin' in the Rain was 1952.
Yep.
But when he danced with the mouse, it wasn't Mickey Mouse. It was Jerry Mouse from Tom and Jerry.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
He wanted to get Mickey Mouse. His partner was Stanley Donen, and he and Donen went to Walt Disney, and of course they're working for MGM, and they said, we want to do this very progressive special effects where Gene dances with Mickey Mouse. And Walt Disney told him, as long as, Mickey Mouse Mickey Mouse will only be in a Disney movie, never in an MGM movie. And so then they went to
Tom and Jerry.
They went Tom and Jerry, which was owned by MGM at that time, and they used Jerry Mouse, and which that's 1945. I mean, kids think of, well, Jerry. Does that go back to the 60s or 70s? How far does it go? It was 1945. Tom and Jerry were there on the scene.
They already were.
Yeah, definitely in 1945, and it was very progressive. And after it came out, even Disney himself admitted that MGM was doing more with the animation than Disney was doing. I mean, of course, Disney had already done Fantasia, but in 1941. But to have the interaction,
yes,
between a human being. I mean, nowadays with DGI and all the digital effects that we can do and everything, it's no big deal now.
Right.
But back then, every step had to be choreographed, and every cell had to be painted and drawn, and then they had the reflections on the floor, and it was mapped out. It was like mind-blowing in 1945 to see Gene Kelly dancing with a cartoon.
And
and you remember,
it stuck out in my head. And I never saw the movie. I just saw that.
Wow.
And then the reason I went and saw that, because of Sean McFarland on Family Guy. Did an homage to it.
All right. Well, listen, you called for it, and then we're here to please.
All right.
Let's wait. Before we do, Ronnie, let's do this. I know we didn't plan on it, but since Karl called for it, let's go to, you know what I'm calling for, Ronnie? The Classic Film Zone.
Ooh.
We're in the Classic Film Zone now, and our guest Karl has called for Anchors Aweigh. He didn't know it was in Anchors Aweigh, but Gene Kelly, great special effects in 1945. from Anchors Aweigh, and where he's dancing with Jerry Mouse. Here it is.
Go to the studio. Listen, Joe. I told the kids you'd tell us all about your adventures. Oh, tell us a story.
All right. Sit down.
Oh, boy. Tell us how you got your medal.
All right, I'll tell you how I got my medal. Now close your eyes. And try to imagine the most beautiful day you've ever seen. The greenest grass and the singingest birds and the shiningest sun. Can you see it?
Yeah!
Good. Now try to imagine me there, walking along, playing a little tin whistle, just as happy as can be. Do you see me?
Yeah!
Good. Of course, I was in the Pomeranian Navy then, and we wore white suits with blue stripes and a white hat with a little red ball on top. Oh, I was so happy that I ran and jumped and leaped and played, just for the fun of it. My, I felt good. Oh, it was such a wonderful, wonderful day. When all of a sudden I slipped into a big hole and fell right to the bottom of it. I seemed to be in a long tunnel. Way ahead I could see light, so I started towards it. Finally, I reached the end and found myself in a strange land. It looked just like a page out of a storybook. And everything was hushed and still. Like your room at night after you've gone to sleep. Hello! 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 Is anybody here? No music. I can't sing if I want to. Can I dance?
It's a law, it's a law, it's a law!
It's a terrible law. I'll sing and dance whenever I will. No law on earth can keep me still.
Young man, there is such a law. Our king forbids us to sing and dance.
Wait. Where dwells this monster of a king whose people may not dance and sing?
In yonder castle, but none can reach him.
Trust in me, my honored friend. I'll bring your sadness to an end. Hello.
Hello. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Just a sailor, come a-visiting. Why are you sad?
I'm not sad.
Oh, yes, you are.
I am not.
You are so.
Not.
Yes, you are.
I'm lonesome.
Well, you deserve to be lonesome. Lonesome's too good for you. Passing a law like that, not letting people sing and dance. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
I had it.
What do you mean you had it?
Well, A king's gotta do everything his subjects do, see? Only better. Well, I can't sing and I can't dance, so there had to be a law. I hadda.
Ah, you can so sing and dance. Anybody can. Well, not anybody that's cranky and gloomy and grumpy, but anybody whose heart is big and warm and happy, they can. Go on, try it. Just for a minute, try being happy.
If you worry, if you bother your head,
I do.
it won't help you, it will hurt you instead.
It will?
Grouchers, groaners, cranks, and moaners, they're so unfair.
I know.
If you can't be gay and merry, lock yourself in solitary. Though it hurts you, be a pleasanter guy. You may even learn to like it if you give it a try.
I'll try.
You could laugh and sing and dance as gaily as an elf, but don't expect to get much help if you don't help yourself. Will you try?
If you show me,
I'll show you.
I'll try.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
You see?
It's easy.
Well, you asked?
That's pretty good. Wow.
Now, you were just telling me while we were watching that something about Family Guy or something?
Family Guy does...
Which is a TV show, right? I don't know the show.
Yeah, it's like an anime. It's kind of like Simpsons.
Okay.
Except it's by another guy. So it's just an animated series, comedy series for adults.
Okay.
And it's a family comedy.
I should check it out.
You should check it out. And so this guy does all kinds of homages to different things. And so he had this random thing where this cartoon character starts dancing with Gene Kelly.
So that's where you learned about this?
Yes.
You haven't seen that movie?
I haven't seen that movie, but after I saw that,
Okay.
I went and looked up, because I was talking to somebody about it, and they said, oh yeah, Gene Kelly did this whole dance with the mouse.
With Jerry Mouse. All right. Well, Gene Kelly was a taskmaster. Okay. But he wasn't just a dancer. I mean, he was a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like with that clip that we just saw right there, he was always innovating, wanting to do more and make greater movies and so forth. And a lot of legendary stories about when he worked with, Debbie Reynolds on Singin' in the Rain, how her feet would be bleeding and she'd be crying, and Frank Sinatra. In fact, in this movie, Ronnie, it's called I Begged Her, okay? It's from the same movie. It's in the same folder, and I'm pretty sure we have it. It's one of my favorite clips. But Frank Sinatra, this was 1945. So this is pretty early Sinatra.
Right.
You're going to see here, okay? Now, later on, Sinatra developed a reputation as being, he was known as, one take Frank. In other words, he'll do a movie, but you do it in one take and you take what you're going to get because you're not going to get him to do it again.
Right,
okay?
right. Because he was Frank.
Because he was Frank. I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to rehearse. We're going to do it. We're going to put it in the can, and that's it. That was the Sinatra way. But here, it's early Frank, 1945. And, of course, Gene Kelly is this great, great dancer. And, of course, Sinatra, the great singer. Well, you had asked me a question. Was Kelly, while we were watching that clip, was he usually kind of in charge? Early on, not necessarily, but by this time, very much so, because in 1944, the year before this movie, he had done a movie for Columbia Pictures with Rita Hayworth called Covergirl.
Okay.
And they're not known for musicals, so they borrowed Gene Kelly from MGM, and they didn't know how to make musicals. They let Gene Kelly just run the picture, and it was a big hit. And so when he came back to MGM after that, he kind of then was starting to be able to direct and produce, and him and Stanley Donen, his partner, they were in charge of pretty much everything. And so Gene Kelly in this movie Anchors Away with Frank Sinatra. Now you see him there with Jerry Mouse, but you didn't know Sinatra's in this movie.
I did not know that.
Okay. Well, Sinatra's in this movie, and what you saw, he was like talking to the little kid. He was in a sailor uniform. There are two sailors, and they're on a leave. They come into San Diego or Long Beach, and they have like 3 nights on the town in Los Angeles. And of course, all they want to do is go see a girl. They want to get a girl, or in this case, Joe wanted to go find his girl. Anyway, they end up this little kid, that kid that you saw him talking to, wanted to enlist in the Navy, and he ran away from home. And he's like 8 years old, wearing a little Navy suit, and the cops take him in because he's on the street,
Mm-hmm.
And so they happen to just grab these 2 sailors because the kid won't tell the cop where he lives. Right? And he doesn't even have a mom. He lives with his Aunt Susie.
Okay.
But he ran away to enlist in the Navy. And so the cops just pick up these 2 sailors on the street, and they're out ready to go see his girl. And they take him to the police station because maybe the kid will talk to...
Set this kid straight.
Real Navy men. And so the kid's like, he can't believe he's talking to real Navy men and stuff like that. So the cop, he starts talking to them. The cop lets the Navy guys, Joe and Clarence, take the kid home to Aunt Susie. And the cop just disappears because the kid will talk to them. And they have to wait for Aunt Susie. Well, anyway, they never got to, go out for their girl, and Joe never got to meet his girl, and they're all with this kid. And Aunt Susie turns out to be Katherine Grayson, who's a famous actress, and not my style, but she was very, very popular, very well known, very operatic style of singer, and that's really not my style. But anyway, so that's Aunt Susie. Well, anyway, they miss the night goes away, and they go to a place where sailors can come and sleep, basically for free.
Right.
Okay? And they missed their opportunity to go out for women, and Joe didn't get to see his girl that he wanted to see because it got so late with this kid and Aunt Susie and all this stuff. So now they show up there where all these other Navy men are, and Joe is Gene Kelly. He's like the wolf. And of course, in those days, the wolf is the guy that's the womanizer. Okay?
Right.
All right. So they want to know, hey, did you get a girl, or, what happened? And of course, they're not going to tell the other sailors that they spent the night with some little kid. So, but Frank Sinatra, he's just this kind of little, young Navy guy, and he starts telling him, oh, it was a kid, and then Joe starts covering up for him with, the BS.
Right, like, oh no, but we got some women.
So this is a number. It's called I Begged Her, and the story goes that Gene Kelly made Sinatra do this number. They did 73 takes. And again, it's early Sinatra, because Sinatra couldn't get the steps right and the jumps right. But he finally got it. 73 takes. This is what a taskmaster Gene Kelly is. And some people thought he was, a little bit too crazy.
Right.
But that's Gene Kelly. So this is Sinatra and Gene Kelly coming into that place where the sailors sleep after not, striking out, basically, with I Begged Her.
All right.
couple empties down there, fellas.
Thanks, pal.
First night's leave for you guys?
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk?
Sure, but we got in a little trouble. We picked up a little kid.
Yeah, and what little kid that was. Oh, what another little kid she had waiting for us when we got home. Such trouble we should run into every night of our life, huh?
Hiya, Joe.
Hiya, Pittsburgh. How are you? Oh, boy, what a town this is.
How do you like that? I walk my feet off all night and end up with a glass of beer.
You don't live right. Oh, never in all my life have I seen such dames. This blonde. Not that there was anything wrong with that redhead of yours, huh, Brooklyn?
Oh, no. She was rather interesting.
Oh, interesting. You should have seen the kid work. Well, I'll tell you, we took the dames home. You took them home? A little slow at first, a little slow.
Straight.
I asked my girl for a kiss. Well, she said no.
Well, who won you
the
with the
details?
dance?
What happened? Well, I'll tell you.
I begged her.
That's the way he started.
I pleaded.
You should have seen this boy.
I told her, baby, come out of your shell. I told her, maybe you'll find that it's swell.
What technique.
I argued.
I never saw such a stubborn dame in my whole life.
I threatened.
And he's got muscles, too.
I said you can't send me home, not like this. And I finally got that kiss.
Tell him, Brooklyn. Tell him how it happened.
She begged me.
True.
She pleaded.
Got down on her bended knee to him.
She told me, baby, come out of your shell.
Oh, this boy was sensational.
She told me, maybe you'll find that it's swell.
Tell him more, Brooklyn.
I'm telling him.
She argued.
What like a wildcat?
She threatened.
Practically threw a gun on the boy.
She said you can't send me home, not like this.
What happened?
She finally got her kiss.
Oh, look at that. Give him the floor, boys. What a time we had tonight. What a dish, what a dream, what a dame. And she lives alone.
Three takes.
Wow.
That
That shows how good a dancer Sinatra was. That he needed 73.
But also, Gene Kelly was a dance instructor. They had a dancing school in Pittsburgh. His family.
Oh.
And they named it after him, the Gene Kelly. Even though he was the child, the Gene Kelly School of Dancing. And then he even would doctor up vaudeville acts, improving the dancing numbers. Then he went to Broadway thinking he could make it there. But so he's really a dance instructor.
Okay.
So he he was a taskmaster.
Right.
But have you ever seen that number before?
No, never have.
1945. What'd you think of it?
That was good. I enjoyed it.
Come on.
I enjoyed it.
All right, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay.
I like musicals. I like them.
Because you have to be able to suspend reality.
Right.
Some people think, oh, come on, they would never just break into something. No, of course not. But it's a movie.
Right. And it's a good way of sort of
I don't know, like, it makes things feel more magical. It's like, ooh, they're going to sing a song to communicate something. Ooh.
It's song and dance. I mean, I wish I could do that. I always thought, like, well, if I ever, like, make millions of dollars and I don't have to worry about money and I lose weight, I'd like to take to learn how to tap dance.
That would be fun. I've never done tap dancing. I do salsa and I've done swing dancing.
You guys were dancing around a little bit up there on the improv?
Dance. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I got another one for you.
All right.
Now, you said your favorite was Singin' in the Rain. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the number that everybody knows and everybody sees
Singin' in the Rain
is Gene Kelly, where he's singing in the rain. We won't show that one. But you said that you prefer Gene Kelly over Fred Astaire. I like them both. And I slightly favor Gene Kelly, but I love Fred Astaire also. But there is a dance number in there. I mean, there's so many great numbers in Singin' in the Rain, 1952. But there's his dancing partner is Donald O'Connor. Now, are you familiar with Donald O'Connor?
No.
Donald O'Connor was one of the most underrated film stars of all time. I mean, he really was great. But, he wasn't that Sinatra or Kelly or, Brando or whatever. But great film dancer. And just an amazing, amazing talent. And his first thing would be, they would say he was a hoofer. A hoofer is a dancer, right? Mm-hmm. And Gene Kelly liked dancing with, like, professional dancers.
Right.
So they got Donald O'Connor to co-star in this movie. And a number that, you talk about, you were saying he's a little more, I guess you said... Athletic, okay? That was the word you used. I was going to say masculine, but you said athletic, and that's absolutely correct. Is called... Moses Supposes. Now, Ronnie, you'd have to go into the... You got... Ronnie's quick. We've been doing this for a year now. Ronnie knows me. Okay? But now this was not planned. Mm-hmm. Can you confirm?
I confirm.
We did not plan this. I was not going to even do a classic film zone. I was going to ask you if you would have called me, which you didn't, and that's okay. Because I was
called
busy.
You?
Yeah, but we were going to hopefully talk yesterday or last night.
That's true.
But I think you probably only check your email like once a day.
Right.
Yeah, you're not like one of those guys like me.
But I called you this afternoon, didn't I? At like 2 o'clock?
Yeah, today.
Oh, I see.
The show's tonight.
That's true.
It takes us time.
That's true.
See, you're used to doing everything on the fly.
I know.
Which I do too, though. I mean,
that's true.
We always want to plan things.
Well, we can do another one, and we'll...
Yeah, but we should have, your chick come out.
Yeah, my chick is
Although,
fun.
I don't know if I could keep her under control. She's really wild.
She is. She'll talk more than we will.
She's really wild. But, okay, Donald O'Connor, Moses Supposes. Now, this movie, without doing too long of a setup, is all about the era. That was done in 1952, but the content of the movie is about that era of when the whole movie business was transitioning from silent films into what they called the talkies.
Right. 1927.
Which, of course, 1927, the first talking motion picture was The Jazz Singer by Warner Brothers, with Al Jolson. And so here, what happened when they did that transition was all these silent film stars, many of them couldn't make it. Because the whole idea when they were acting on film without talking was, a lot of show, and then they would just put the cards up there. But it wasn't just like two people sitting and having a conversation and acting. It wasn't acting.
Right.
So, and a lot of them had bad speaking voices and couldn't enunciate. So there was a lot of stories there. So that's what the whole movie of Singin' in the Rain is about, that transition from silent films into talkies. And one of the things that was going on in that era when that was taking place was a lot of actors were taking, diction classes, and they had speech coaches teaching them how to project and how to enunciate and so forth. So this particular number, Moses Supposes, is about the two silent film stars, which were the fictional silent film stars, Lena Lamont and what's his name in the movie? Don Lockwood and Lena Lamont. They're silent film stars, and of course Lena Lamont, she can't make the transition. And Don Lockwood doesn't really make it either from an acting standpoint, but at least he could talk. So here they are getting their speech lessons, and his friend that comes in, Donald O'Connor, He is like the music director and his longtime friend that they grew up as kids together. And he's not in front of the camera, but he's like the music director on the thing. He comes in visiting his friend while he's taking the speech classes.
Okay, to try to fit into the new talkie movies.
Right, so here it is, Moses Supposes.
All right.
Now, ta-te-ti-to-tu.
Ta-te-ti-to-tu.
No, Miss Lamont, round tones, round tones. Now let me hear you read your line.
And I can't stand him.
And I can't stand him.
And I can't stand him.
Can't.
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 Can't. Can't. Very good. Now, around the rocks, the rugged rascal ran.
Around the rocks, the rugged...
rocks. Rocks.
Around the rocks, the rugged rascal ran.
Very good.
Cuz.
Oh, hi, Don.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't mind me.
Now, sinful Caesar sipped his snifter, seized his knees, and sneezed.
Sinful Caesar snipped his snifter.
Sipped his snifter.
Sipped his snifter.
Oh, thank you. Sinful Caesar sipped his snifter, seized his knees, and sneezed.
Marvelous.
Wonderful.
Marvelous. Oh, here is a good one. Chester chooses chestnuts, cheddar cheese with chewy chives. He chews them and he chooses them. He chooses them and he chews them. Those chestnuts, cheddar cheese, and chives in cheery, charming chunks.
Oh, wonderful. Do another one.
Oh, thank you. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. Moses, he knows his toes aren't roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be.
Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously.
But Moses, he noses his toes aren't roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. A Mose is a Mose.
A rose is a rose.
A toes is a toes. Hoop-de-doody-doodle. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For Moses, he noses his toes aren't roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be. Moses supposes his toes are roses. Moses erroneously. He knew my Moses his toes are roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be. Roses, a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose is when Moses supposes his toes couldn't be a lily or a tappy dappy dilly. It's gotta be a rose 'cause it rhymes with Mose. Moses. Moses.
Right.
That was good.
You like that?
Yeah.
You never saw that before?
No.
Yes, Donald O'Connor.
Donald O'Connor.
And Gene Kelly.
So Donald O'Connor was a dancer first, and then
he was a hoofer, yeah. But they gave him some starring roles too. But he was a pretty big star. But to me, he's the most underrated film star. I mean, he's just incredible. You know,
he was good in that.
Isn't he great in that?
Well, that's a skill that you never see anymore.
Well, you know, you were talking about athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you're right. Gene Kelly was very athletic, but Donald O'Connor, one of the most athletic dancers of all time.
Right.
Seriously.
And I just wouldn't know. For me, it's like,
all right. I got one
Gene
more.
Kelly represents the kind of dancer I like to watch versus Fred Astaire. He's more like the ballroom sort of.
Right, because Fred Astaire is a little bit more
graceful,
feminine, maybe foo-fooey or whatever. Whereas Gene Kelly is like every man.
Right.
He makes you believe that you could do that.
Right.
You know, to see kind of a macho guy wearing a T-shirt and you know,
right,
jeans or something like that.
Like he just
a construction worker
puts down
dancing.
the Budweiser and stops watching Wheel of Fortune and comes up and does a dance.
Here's one I think you're going to appreciate from the same movie, Ronnie. Singin' in the Rain. Now this is actually before the scene we just saw, but Don in this movie, Gene Kelly, he's kind of depressed because he's trying to find this chick and he can't find her. It's Debbie Reynolds.
Okay.
And she had told him that you're not an actor, you know, a lot of show and stuff like that. You know, she got to him because he was trying to hit on her, and so she put him down. Later on, they get together, you know,
right.
But as all these movies end with happy endings. But anyway, so he's saying, cheer up, you know, and the song is called Make 'Em Laugh. Okay.
I've heard that one.
Make 'Em Laugh. And it's a solo by Donald O'Connor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now you talk about athletic. Check this out.
All right.
You can't let a little thing like this get you down. Why, you're Donald Lockwood, aren't you? And Donald Lockwood's an actor, isn't he? Well, what's the first thing an actor learns? The show must go on. Come rain, come shine, come snow, come sleet, the show must go on. So Reedy, Pagliacci, Reedy.
Reedy, huh?
Yeah.
Don, the world is so full of a number of things. I'm sure we should all be as happy as. But are we? No. Definitely no. Positively no. Decidedly no. Short people have long faces. And long people have short faces. Big people have little humor, and little people have no humor at all.
And in the words of that immortal bard, Samuel J. Snodgrass, as he was about to be led to the guillotine, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My dad said, be an actor, my son, but be a comical one. They'll be standing in lines for those old honky-tonk monkey shines. Or you could study Shakespeare and be quite elite, and you could charm the critics and have nothing to eat. Just slip on a banana peel, the world's at your feet. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My grandpa said go out and tell 'em a joke, but give it plenty of hope. Make 'em roar, make 'em scream. Take a fall, but a wall, split a seam. You start off by pretending you're a dancer with grace. You wiggle till they're giggling all over the place. And then you get a great big custard pie in the face. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Make 'em laugh. Don't you all the... What? My dad. They'll be standing in lines for those old honky-tonk monkey shows.
like?
Thumbs up. I
All
like that.
right, you were laughing.
Oh, it was very funny.
Yeah, he actually went to the hospital after that.
I can imagine.
Because he was like a chain smoker, and
Oh, so he was just exhausted.
But the story is they had to take him to the hospital. Well, that'll wrap up our classic film zone.
All right,
which was,
I liked it.
Which was not scheduled. I got 1,000 of those clips and from different movies and stuff like that. That would just blow you away.
So you once in a while will go to classic movie.
Yeah, we feature a classic film. Try to do it in every show. We weren't going to do it tonight, so it'll be one movie, and then from that movie we'll show 2 or 3 clips, or maybe even 4 or 5. If I don't have a guest, we'll do 7 or 8 clips, and take you right through the whole movie. And just I like doing the musicals. I mean, we've done movies that aren't musicals,
right?
But it's harder to grab clips from those movies because
they don't stand on their own as well.
Well, yeah, you take a scene for example, and to really get to capture the scene is like a 10 or 12 minute clip. You just take a 4 or 5 minute. But with musicals, you could just take a number, and it's just great. But we do. And
that's a lost art. The music, like the Hollywood musical, they started to come back now recently.
Well, they are now. I think with a lot of this, like you see Glee on television now, and
which
stuff
is a fun show.
High School Musical and stuff like that. So you're starting to see some of that.
But like you got Moulin Rouge, which I think is a great musical.
Well, did you happen to see Burlesque? That was 2010. That was with Cher and Christina Aguilera.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would really call that a musical because it was all the music was done in musical performances, but it is a musical.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I love Cher and I love Christina, so I mean, it's pretty hot. And Christina was pretty thin then.
How did Cher look?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cher has a following that I've never been a massive fan of Cher.
No?
Which is okay that you are. But I've always been impressed at how big a fan base she has. She has devoted fans like all over the place.
I wish I had that clip from Burlesque to show you of her. It's one of the things that I wish they did more in that movie, give you more Cher numbers. They only give you 2 numbers of Cher.
Okay.
And they give you like 10 of Christina.
You know what bugged me about Cher? She went to the, what's that thing called where it snaps your voice to, when she did that, do you believe in life after love?
What are you talking about? I really don't know.
Oh, there's a song called Do You Believe in Life After Love?
Okay.
Do you believe in life after love? It's her song.
Okay.
And it was the first song I ever heard.
But it's like a disco version, right?
Yeah, it had like the voice modulation, so it basically snaps you to the right note.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like instead of her going, do you believe? She just says, do you believe in life after love? And then they do something afterwards that makes the note go up and down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And maybe that was hasty on my part.
Yeah, well,
But Cher has, don't hate her, but
okay.
I'm impressed.
But you're right, though. Musicals, it is really kind of a lost thing because of the fact that people don't buy it anymore. It's like you got to remember when the quote talkies first came into being in 1927, the early 30s and 40s. Yeah, there were gangster movies too, but so much of the talking movies were centered around music and dancing, because now for the first time they can do sound,
right?
And so. It was just a natural to do people singing and dancing on film.
Right.
So much of it was in the 30s. Then they kind of perfected it in the 40s and early 50s, and then it was pretty much done. Now, in 1963, though, was one of the great musicals of all time, as late as 1963, and that was My Fair Lady.
Right.
With Audrey Hepburn.
Yes.
But her voice was dubbed.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And Marnie Nixon, I believe, was the one who dubbed her. And then...
that was a good musical, though.
Another great one, I think, was 62 or 63, was How to Succeed in Business Without
I've never
Trying.
seen that one.
It's great.
Well, Sound of Music is another great one. That was 59, wasn't it?
You know what? I don't know because I don't have that one. That's kind of operatic, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah. See, I don't go for those. Those operatic ones. That's a little too hardcore for me. I should. I can appreciate them. But I like a little more of the popular music, you know.
Right. You're right.
When it gets a little too operatic, it's like,
And they don't have the kind of good dance numbers. Well, maybe they do.
No, I don't know.
No, there wasn't as much.
Yeah, see,
Christopher Plummer couldn't dance as well as Gene Kelly.
Well, see, my favorite, as you probably have guessed by now, of course, is Judy, and I think we're reaching that time of the show.
Is there always a Judy?
We end every show, and before we go there, I mean, I'm not quite ready. I want to make sure that we got everything ringed out of you that we can get.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. I suppose I can push my things now, right? So,
that's what. Yeah.
Salvation of Elmer Blott is for sale at Amazon, and it's also for sale from me.
Okay. And they can get it by going to.
They can get it by going to Amazon.com and going there, or contacting me.
Okay, but you don't have a website.
I don't have a website. That's true. I need a website.
You know what? The thing is, you're too smart to have a website. It's like you're above it.
I'm not above it. I'm so bad at that stuff that I'm just like, I'm just going to keep doing the things that...
You know what? It's almost better because, once you start with that, it costs money. And you say, well, you can do a website for free or you could do it for $1. Yeah, bullshit. Once you start, once you start, then you need this, and then you need that, and then you got to have a Facebook page, and then you got to have this, and then you got to have that. And before you know it, you're spending a fortune on this stuff.
And time, too. I mean, that's the thing, too, is like, I'd rather be out playing piano at Nye's than sitting at home trying to figure out how to make
Well, that's why we don't have such a big audience tonight, is because you have no Facebook following. The best thing for us, for these shows is we get a guest that's got a huge Facebook following. Then when they're on, the numbers spike. Now, for example, just to give you which I don't care. I mean, I love doing this. I don't care. This is, people say, are you making money from this? And I say, no, it's costing me money. I don't make money from this. They say, well, why do you do it? Because it's cheaper than therapy. I mean, this is what I love to do.
Right. That's kind of a part of it for me, too.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to have some...
Yeah.
Something out there for yourself, right? But anyway, what was the point I was making?
The Facebook following.
Yeah, just imagine this, okay? Now, Stevie Ray's, for example. Do they even keep a email mailing list?
Mm-hmm. Stevie Ray's does.
Yeah, they do, right? And they probably have thousands, I would think, on that list, correct?
Yes.
So now imagine if you were tight enough with Stevie Ray where you could have said, Stevie, listen, I'm doing a webcast tonight, and I'm going to, plug Stevie Ray's Cabaret and everything. Can we send out an email, get one out, yesterday, to your list and everything? They can tune in tonight and, we'll plug the thing and all this kind of thing. Right. And if he would have sent out, what's on his list? 10,000?
I don't know. Stevie's the kind of guy who collects that. He'd have.
He probably has an email list of 30,000 names.
Right.
We would have blasted 30,000 emails out there to see, and we would have kind of featured Stevie Ray's and put the show on the website. Ronnie, can you show a website? Do we have the video capture card on that computer or no?
Not really.
No, we don't. Okay. But what's the website for Stevie Ray's? Do you know it?
Yeah, it's StevieRays.org.
StevieRays.org. So that's STEVIE
RAYS.
And then RAYS.org.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I went there. That's where I met Karl, and it was a great show. I had a great time, and it's relatively...
Is that how you stumbled onto the show? Through the website?
No, Matt invited me. Matt is in taking one of the classes.
Oh, yeah, Matt here.
Yeah. He invited me. I guess he said, well, you come on down. And then I think it was your boy, Brett, came out. And
my boy.
Yeah, Brett came out, which we got to get Brett.
My homie.
We got to get Brett up here.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I thought he was great. I thought he was just great. And Brett took us on a little tour. We were walking through the catacombs there of the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, and he showed us all the theater, and he says...
Oh, that's right, he did that.
Yeah, and he says, you want to come Friday night? I said, yeah, and he put me on a list, and I didn't even have to pay. No, we bought drinks. I mean,
Right.
But see, he set me up, and then I met you.
Yeah, well... Brett is...
But I had a great time. I mean, for me going out or whatever, I'll do it and stuff like that. But I mean, I had genuinely a great time.
That's good. I'm so
happy
about
what I'm saying?
That. Oh, yeah. It's one of the best pleasures of that job is every show, even the shows I feel like I do terrible at, after the show, everybody just had the greatest time.
Yeah, because
sometimes in some ways it almost confounds me. I'm just like,
no, because you know why? Because it's not uptight.
Right.
It's not uptight. It's very freewheeling. It's loose. It's casual. You're going there to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're going. You know, you want to have a laugh. You guys are all loose up there. And by the way, the guy who does the emceeing, I don't know his name, but he did a great job.
He's a very good MC.
No, but he sets you guys up. Like he's been practicing.
Well, he's been doing it for.
What's his name?
Michael Erickson.
So he's like the MC for the troupe.
Yep. He's the MC and music.
Okay, so he kind of knows how to get the, to set up these improvs. I mean, he's really good at that.
Yeah, he kind of structures it.
Yeah, he did a fabulous job.
Yeah,
he
sets us up.
He did a fabulous job. But what I was getting back to the point I was making is, imagine if we did an email blast to his list to watch Karl Olson tonight on Chillin' with Larry Megan. We probably would have had a few hundred people watching tonight. You see what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
So that's the trick.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
But
it doesn't matter to me whether we're playing to 20 people or 200 people. We had one show. We had over 1,600 viewers on one show.
Really?
Yeah. Back in February, it was the most watched show I had. Is when I had Barbie Rosine on, and back then Livestream, which is the platform that we use for our streaming, is livestream.com. They had a different format than they do now. Right now, they're going through this beta testing with their new homepage. But back then, they had it a little differently, where they would feature 3 different webcasts at all times, and they would rotate them on the homepage. They put us on their homepage, and we had over 1,600 viewers that night.
Wow.
It was great. Yeah, that was our all-timer.
And you access it through Acorn TV.
Well, those people, here's the thing. When we're doing our show like right now, it's playing... It plays primarily on our live stream channel page, which is livestream.com/Acorn Live. But then what we do is we take the embed code and we put it on our site, which is acorn.tv.
Right.
So we direct people come to our site, okay? But in theory, people can find us through Livestream. You could go to Livestream and just start, surfing for, sports, entertainment, music, and you could just find all kinds of shit that's going, excuse my language, but you could find all kinds of things that are going on live right now.
Right.
Okay, so people can find us through Livestream. We've had people find us that way. But you have to dig.
Right.
You got to go into different categories. You got to dig to find it. So we just direct people to our homepage at my website. But when they put us on the front page of Livestream, and we were on the front page of livestream.com, then all of a sudden we were exposed to, like I said, we had over 1,600 viewers that night.
Nice.
But they don't have that availability anymore. They're doing beta testing with the new homepage system now. They still haven't settled on it, which is too bad because I would have liked to
get it on there.
Get it on there some more, yeah. But I mean, there's all kinds of tricks.
Right.
You got to but like you say, you got to spend all day.
Yeah, and it's just not it's not my forte. I kind of made that decision. Like, if somebody thinks that I need more exposure, I almost feel like somebody just needs to come to me and say, Karl, I want to publicize you.
You know what it is, though, man? It always comes down to the same thing. Money. If you have the money, you can do it. I mean, I've talked to a number of people, and this one, agency in particular that I'd love to go with, but I don't have the budget. If I had the budget and we could do it, we could build a huge following here. But it's not something that you can just, it's not, you can't just flip a switch. It's literally hours and hours of work.
Right.
Doing it. And there are people that do that. And I've talked to a few agencies that do that, but it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It's always about the money.
Well, and it's also, for me, it's like, I'm good at singing. I can play piano. I can take requests, and I can do improv. I can do that stuff, the stuff in front of the stage. But this other stuff, I'm so bad at. It's just not... I've tried to get into that. Even the amount of equipment I have with my keyboards, it's almost too much for me. I just am so bad with equipment.
I know. You were practically dropping it coming up the steps.
Exactly.
Well, listen, I think what we're going to do now is we'll go to our final segment of the show.
Judy.
Let's do it, Ronnie. Well, it's come to that time of the night, Karl. What we do on these shows is, every show, every week, whenever we do them, I like to get a little bit of Judy Garland in every show. She's my favorite. She was my mom's favorite.
Mhm.
Okay, and when we were kids, you know, it would be, I think it was on Sunday nights, if I remember correctly. We would be sitting around the TV, and we would, you know, back then there was like 3 channels,
Right.
maybe 4 or 5 channels. That was it. And we'd watch the Judy Garland show. And, you know, for me, it's, you know, as you grow older and you learn more about Judy Garland and everything, you know, she happens to be from Minnesota.
I know.
You know that. I've never made it up there. It's Cedar Rapids, is like about 3.5 hours north of here.
Park Rapids.
No, Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids is in Iowa.
No, but there's a Cedar Rapids.
Oh, it's just like
in
a tiny
Minnesota.
little.
Yeah, and they have the Judy Garland Museum, the house she was, you know, born in. But I think she only lived here till she was
Right.
7 or 8, and then the family moved to California. But in any case, you know, you learn more about her, and she had a lot of struggle with, you know, pills and stuff. Back in those days, they really didn't know. They worked her to death. Now they have child labor laws and stuff, and she was, you know, had to be up early to be on the set and work late and stuff. And so her mom was giving her pills and stuff. They didn't know,
Mhm.
you know, so she got addicted to pills. So, I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, for her sanctuary of peace was always when she would be performing. And her career is really not so much about, you know, what was her best movie. It was really about moments. Because every Judy Garland film, or even her TV shows and whatever, they had these great Judy moments. And for me, I find those moments to be inspirational. And Always Chasing Rainbows is about, for this segment anyway, about always, you know, keep pursuing your dreams and keep pursuing your goals, you know, never giving up, you know. I mean, I'm up there. You're a baby compared to me, but I'm not giving up. It's not over yet, right?
Right.
You know, we're still fighting the fight, you know, and so that's what it's all about. Now, for tonight, I haven't picked one. I've got a few to pick from. And so I'm going to throw it to you a little bit here. One of the ones that I have, now, no matter what
I got a song in my head.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I'm not absolutely sure that it's Judy Garland, but
Okay,
it's,
go ahead.
And I don't even know the words. It's dun 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 bum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum. I don't want you to rain on my parade.
Yeah, that's Barbra Streisand.
No!
That's Barbra Streisand. And if you want to see that after we get off the air,
Okay.
I'll plug it in for you right here. It's from Funny Girl.
That's
Don't-
right. Okay.
Don't tell me not to live. Just gotta. Yeah, that's a good one actually. Actually, I have her doing that song in concert in Vegas at the MGM in I think 1994, which was pretty spectacular.
Okay, I want to go. I'm going to request a sad moment.
Okay,
You probably don't do sad moments very often, but
I do 'em.
Yeah?
Oh, you want me to do?
I mean, like as
Judy-
a request for the Judy moment, pick a sad one.
A sad one? Okay.
Or one that's kind of like, that has sadness around it. Obviously, it's probably going to be heartwarming. And
No. I was going to give you a choice of either The Boy Next Door, which was from Meet Me in St. Louis in 1944.
Okay.
Which at that time she would be 22, but she was playing a 17-year-old. And on that movie, she was being directed by the director was Vincent Minnelli, and after that movie, they took a vacation and they got engaged and they ultimately got married.
And had a child named Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli, right. But she met Vincent on that movie.
Okay.
She didn't want to do the movie because she was tired of playing, you know, kid roles, and she had already played a couple of adult roles, and she didn't want to go back to playing a teenager. Vincent Minnelli talked her into doing it. And she does a nice job on that song, The Boy Next Door. So I was going to show that, or I was going to show one that I thought you might like, which is really, I'd say, probably the song that kind of put her on the map, that got her into the public consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in Broadway Melody of 1938. And it was, at that time, she was 15 years old when they shot it. And she was 15, and it was called Dear Mr. Gable, You Made Me Love You. And she had done this song at a pool party for Clark Gable. Louis B. Mayer, the head of MGM, had thrown a party for Clark Gable's 40th birthday. And Judy was one of their young people. And Roger Edens, who was the music director for MGM, had written custom lyrics to You Made Me Love You for Judy Garland to sing
Oh,
Dear Mr. Gable, You Made Me Love You in front of all these major film stars at his private birthday party. And everybody just was floored by this little girl singing Dear Mr. Gable. And Louis B. Mayer said, I want that song written into the next script possible. And they wrote that song into the script of Broadway Melody of 1938. And she was little Judy, and probably because of that, she got the Wizard of Oz. And then getting the Wizard, because they really wanted
Oh, so that was before Wizard of Oz?
It was before Wizard of Oz. They wanted Shirley Temple, but, you know, Roger Edens felt, you know, he was the one backing Judy all the way, that Judy has the vocal chops to handle it, Mr. Mayer. We don't need Shirley Temple. And they went with him on that, and she got Wizard of Oz. But had she not done Dear Mr. Gable, she probably doesn't get the Wizard of Oz.
Right.
And of course, the Wizard of Oz changed everything. But this is the one that put her into the, and she had done a few movies even before this.
Right.
But Dear Mr. Gable, I think, put her into the public consciousness.
Well, let's see that one then.
But you asked for something sad.
Well, I didn't realize those were the two options, and I'm now curious about this.
Well, I may have something sad for you.
Okay.
Ronnie, now one of the things when you get into Judy, okay, is you can't talk about Judy Garland without getting into the Mickey and Judy, Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. Now, you familiar with Mickey and Judy? They were like the little, heartthrob or whatever.
Right, they were kind of teeny boppers at the same time.
Right, exactly. And Mickey was 2 years older, and he took her under his wing. And they were just the darlings of America.
Right.
You know, and they had played in a couple movies together, and they did the first, the Andy Hardy movie, Love Finds Andy Hardy. And then they put them in what they called they did 4 musicals together. They call them the Backyard Musicals, directed by Busby Berkeley. And in these movies, one of the recurring themes that always comes up with Judy always struggled with her looks. Okay, Louis B. Mayer always made fun of her, like, you have to lose weight. You're my darling little hunchback, and and Judy was not real glamorous.
Right.
Okay, I think she was beautiful, but compared to like other film stars, so Judy had this great sense of humor about herself. She had to, develop that kind of tough skin. So in these movies, she's always like kind of in love with Mickey, and wanting Mickey, but Mickey is like too into other girls to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So this is kind of a recurring thing with them. So from one of the Judy and Mickey movies, Ronnie, there should be a song in the folder for Judy. Either it's called Nobody's Baby, or it's called Nobody Loves Me or Nobody's Baby or something like that. Do you see anything in there like that, Ronnie? I'm Nobody's Baby, or I'm... I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do, because you want a sad song. We'll play.
Well, you know what though?
We'll play.
I'm willing to see that one about
Dear Mr. Gable.
That made her the star.
All right, let's do Dear Mr.
That's a great story.
Let's do Dear Mr. Gable. It's the truth. I mean, this
for
is
the thousands of viewers out there.
And listen, ever since she sang that song to Clark Gable at his birthday party, there was always a very special relationship between Clark Gable and Judy Garland. I mean, he adored her. Clark Gable adored Judy. She was a little kid.
Right, and he was already he was a generation before, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know about a whole generation, but he was a big star in the 30s.
Right.
So we're talking 1938. By then, he was already, it was before Gone with the Wind, but it was after San Francisco, and I mean, so many of his movies, But Mutiny on the Bounty had already been done,
right?
By that point. So okay, do you have that one, Ronnie? All right, let's go ahead. Let's check it out.
Betty, what have you got there?
Nothing, Mom.
Come on now, let me see it.
Well,
come on now, let me see it. Sincerely yours, Clark Gable. So you've been writing to the actors again, eh? Well, I'll put a stop to that.
Oh, Ma, I paid $25 for that picture.
First it was Donald Duck, and now it's Clark Gable you're crazy about. Now look here, young lady. You stop thinking about these moving picture actors and you go right to sleep. And mind you, no dreaming about them either.
Dear Mr. Gable, I am writing this to you, and I hope that you will read it so you'll know. My heart beats like a hammer, and I stutter and I stammer every time I see you at the picture show. I guess I'm just another fan of yours, and I thought I'd write and tell you so. You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You made me love you, and all the time you knew it. I guess you always knew it. You made me happy. Sometimes you made me glad. But there were times, sir, you made me feel so sad. You made me sigh, 'cause I didn't want to tell you, I didn't want to tell you. I think you're grand, that's true, yes I do, deed I do, you know I do. I must tell you what I'm feeling. The very mention of your name sends my heart reeling. You know you made me love you. Oh, gee, Mr. Gable, I don't want to bother you. I guess you got a lot of girls to tell you the same thing. And if you don't want to read this, well, you don't have to. But I just had to tell you about the time I saw you, and it happened one night. That was the first time I ever saw you. And I knew right then you were the nicest fella in the movies. I guess it was because you acted so natural-like. Not like a real actor at all, but just like any fella you'd meet at school or at a party. And then one time I saw you in a picture with Joan Crawford. And I had to cry a little. 'Cause you loved her so much. And you couldn't have her. Not till the end of the picture, anyway. And then one time I saw you in person. You were making a personal appearance at the theater, and I was standing there when you got out of your car, and you almost knocked me down. Oh, but it wasn't your fault. No, I was in the way. But you looked at me, and you smiled. Yeah, you smiled right at me as if you meant it. And I cried all the way home just 'cause you smiled at me for being in your way. Oh, I'll never forget it, Mr. Gable. Honest Injun, you're my favorite actor. I don't care what happens, let the whole world stop. As far as I'm concerned, you'll always be the top, 'cause you know you made me love you.
Nice.
What do you think?
I liked it.
Did you? You never saw that before?
I've never seen that, but I've heard the song before, obviously.
Yeah.
But Mr. Gable. She had a great voice.
She's 15 right there.
I know, that's amazing.
Glad you like that. Now, you asked for something sad. We found it.
Okay.
The one that I was thinking of. This was from Babes on Broadway, and which is 1941. And you know, the whole thing with the backyard musicals is it's the same thing over and over, all 4 movies, where whatever the issue is or the problem is, you know, Mickey would always be, I know, let's put on a show, right? They always have an excuse to put on a show, you know, to save the orphanage, or to say, you know, or
right.
you know, to get on Broadway, or you know, whatever it happens to be, is always to put on a show, or get the kids out to the country, or whatever. Well, here they have to put on a show, and they're rehearsing, and he needs like $200 or $300 for the show, and the girl comes along, June Priester, and they're doing a spoof actually on, I believe it was Shirley Temple, and they called her Baby Rosalie, and it was just hysterical. And so she's going to put up the money because she's a former child actor, she's rich.
Mm-hmm.
She puts up the money so he can put on his stage his performance, $300, but she has to now star in the show, and he had written all these songs for Judy to be the star.
Oh.
But now he had to give it to her. And so she was, like I said, she's always wanting him, and he's always, so he explains, you know, I have to let her, you have to be a trooper now, and you have to be the backup,
right.
You know, the stand-in or whatever, you know, right? The understudy. So she says, okay, I'll do it. And then she comes out there, and I'll tell you, you have to see this movie, because you see Mickey Rooney is so talented. He actually does Clark Gable impersonation and Lionel Barrymore at the same time, and he's using a mustache. It's hysterical. But anyway, then with Baby Rosalie, he had the part in the rehearsal calls for him to kiss her. So he gives her a kiss, and Judy walks in right at that moment. She's already had to suffer from like giving up her part. Now she walks in. She went to get Baby Rosalie some water. She comes back in there kissing.
Oh, no.
So she's like, Judy drops the glass, and that's it, I'm going. And she gets on a bus to go catch up with her mom. The parents were all on like a vaudeville circuit or something.
Oh,
like that.
right, okay.
So she quits the show, and she goes running away. And she's on the bus now. And this is her. She's sad. You wanted sad.
Right.
That, you know, Mickey kind of snuffed her, you know.
So it's her leaving the show.
She's on the bus,
and eventually she comes back to the show, and they're in love, right?
Yeah, because when they get to the parents, her mother says, "Now, why aren't you there?" You know, and then she explains the whole thing. She says, "You know, he had to make the decision for everybody. You know, this is show business. You know." So she goes back, and then she agrees to be the understudy. Then Baby Rosalie's father comes in the night of the performance and says, "You're not in this Mickey Mouse show. You know this." And he yanks her out of there, so then she had to step in and play it.
Of course she does. Of course.
But see, that's what they're predictable.
Right. But yeah.
But that's what you watch it for. It's Judy.
Right.
It's Judy and Mickey.
And it's a happy ending.
But you wanted sad, right?
Yeah. So.
All right, we found it for you.
All right.
Here it is.
It's your turn to cry over me. Every road has a turning. That's one thing you're learning. I cried for you. What a fool I used to be. But I'll find two eyes just a little bit bluer. I'll find a heart just a little bit truer. your turn to cry over me. I know I'm no glamour girl like her. But maybe someday you'll realize that glamour isn't the only thing in this world. If your show's a flop, you'll find you can't eat glamour for breakfast. Anyway, I might be pretty good looking myself when I grow out of this ugly duckling stage. And you're no Clark Gable yourself. But that's all right. You go your way and I'll go mine. Don't worry about me. I'll recover. Time is a great healer. But in the future, if we should meet again at the opera or at a ball, and I'm dazzling in my diamonds and pearls and ermine wraps, and surrounded by lords and dukes and princes, you'll probably be sorry. And you'll probably realize that life is just an idiot's delight. And as I speed through the dark night into the abyss of oblivion, I can only say thanks. Thanks for the memory. I'll find two eyes just a little bit bluer. I'll find a heart just a little bit truer. I cried for you. Now it's your turn to cry over me.
All right.
It's about as sad as those musicals get.
Yeah, I thought of another one, but not for me, where she's out in the desert singing.
Oh, I'm singing songs of love, but
not for me. You know that one?
It's an old Gershwin song.
Yeah, but not for me. Yeah, it's really amazing. That one's from 1943. That's from Girl Crazy. And again, it's a situation where, what happened was, instead of put on a show, they had to put on a rodeo to save the college.
Okay.
Okay. And so Mickey really does love Judy, but he gets all these girls to be, the queen of the rodeo, and there's a contest. And for PR purposes, the governor's daughter has to win.
Oh.
So it comes down to Judy and the governor's daughter, and Mickey is the one that has to announce the winner. And she was the only girl at Cody College, so Judy, because it was her grandfather's college. So it's out in the middle of the desert and the country, whatever. And so he ends up awarding it to the governor's daughter. But the other thing is that she had a locket that he had given to Judy, and Judy gave it back to him for luck, just to when they were going to meet with the governor to get the okay to do this. And when he met the governor's daughter, she kind of took it from him, he showed it to her, she saw it, and she goes, "Oh, just for me." And then she put it on, he couldn't take it back. And when she got the crown, the two of them were on stage, and she looked to congratulate her, and she saw the girl wearing the locket.
Oh, no.
And so not only did she not win, but the girl was wearing the locket that was from his grandmother or whatever he had given to her. So she goes running out into the desert, and she's out there, and Rags comes out there, and he says, "Remember you said you'd sing me a song? Sing me a song." So he's out, and she's in the moonlight by herself in the desert, and she sings,
"You're singing songs of love,
but not for me." Do you do that song sometimes? Once in a while.
I can play it. I got my fake books in the car, so I just pull out the old Gershwin fake book and.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I thought of that one.
That's
too.
a good one. That's a great song.
Yeah, and it's a great scene from Girl Crazy, 1943. Another
backyard musical.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It gets fun, you start learning all these things.
Right.
Well, anyway, listen, that brings us to the close of another show. Carl, man, you got to come back.
I will.
I mean, we got to
push it harder next time.
No, but we got to do some stuff. I mean, this is fun.
Yeah.
I had a blast with you because you were so receptive to my stuff, and I love what you do and the improv thing and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm close to the theater too.
Right.
All right, man. Well, that brings us to the close of another show. So just always remember, don't ever give up. Keep pursuing your goals and your dreams. And until next time, I'm Larry Megan. Peace, love, and all good things.
Chill with Larry Megan.